Before I was saved, I was being destructive. It's about destroying. It's about greed, getting money. What's mine is mine. What's yours is mine. Type of stuff. But now that I'm saved, I'm going back to the community where I was making a mess and causing chaos. Now I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it, and I'm patching it with love. My parents, they were from Cambodia. There was a civil war going on. The Khmer Rouge, they were trying to take over the country. It was a war. So my parents, they have to leave the country. They have to leave their house and take whatever belongings they have in their hands and leave quick. Go through jungles and crossing river and avoiding landmines. And they would walk for days and weeks and months sometime. My uncle took a separate path, and my dad and his family took another path. So it was like a fork in the road. My uncles, none of them made it, because the Khmer Rouge was cruel. They would kill anybody that wear glasses, kill anybody that's educated, and kill anyone that know how to read. The Khmer Rouge murdered over 1 million people, and my family made it. I was born in Thailand refugee camp in 1985, and then we moved to Fresno, California. Fresno, California, that's when things got real. My parents thought it was gonna be like Hollywood, where dreams come true. My neighborhood was gang infested, drug infested. I joined a gang when I was in the 6th grade. That's when the trouble started happening. I started missing school just to do drugs, just to smoke weed, just to smoke cigarette, drink some alcohol. And by the age of 11, I was in juvenile hall. I was just in and out of juvenile hall until I committed the crime that landed me in California Youth Authority. I was in a probation school, a parole school. Well, parole school at that time, we get off early. And instead of riding the bus home, I rode the bus to Walmart. After we waited for a couple hours, we see our rival gang members start walking to the Walmart parking lot. And I was discussing with my friends, like, how are we gonna beat them down, and how are we gonna stomp them out. And we lined up like in the movies, about when a riot was about to start happening. My friend, he went in first and he knocked the dude out. His friend, most of them ran. So it was just him left on the ground. There was nothing else, for me to hit, because most of them ran. So I end up kicking the guy on the ground a few times, punching him. And I remember the scene. It was like a bloody bath. This blood was just leaking out. It was like a puddle. And we just walked away. Me and my friend just walked away. And then the next day, I was going to my community service. It was at the Cambodian temple. I was cleaning up around there. So the cops came. Two thoughts came on my mind, like, should I run? Oh, I can't run. I have on my house slipper. If I do run, I won't make it that far. One of the monks pointed me out and said, oh, that's him right there, that's Sam. And that's how the cops got me. I remember that night, I spent the night in juvenile hall. When I woke up, I thought I was at home, but realized I was in juvenile hall. I'm like, oh wow, it's like a nightmare that never ends, that I won't wake up from. I was in there for a couple years, but it seemed like a lifetime when I was in there. I was 16 years old when I was released from the California Youth Authority. And my mentality was the same. I had that gang mentality, shooting, fighting, stealing, selling drugs. I was still doing all this stuff when I was released from CYA. And I believe CYA made me a better criminal. I hear a lot of good news about Hope now. They help guys that's on probation, parole, high school dropout, help them get a job and get their life back together. And one of my friends was coming to Hope Now. So I was like, you know what, I'll come to Hope Now. So the first time I went to Hope Now, they hooked me up with a McDonald's job. I'm like, a McDonald's job. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this money real quick and flip it. Go buy some drugs and double up my money. So I got like a little over $100. I took that, bought some meth. Well, I wasn't that good of a drug dealer, so I tried to sell weed, but weed didn't work out either, because I would smoke all the weed and I wouldn't make no money. I thought that I would be judged, or they would, shun me. But instead, when I came back to Hope Now after quitting my first job, they was welcoming me with open arms. I find that Hope Now was a safe place to come to, knowing that I won't be judged or, treated differently. Because the hate was all on the street. I could get that from the street, But coming to Hope Now, that's when I could be free, I could be happy, I could laugh. I don't have to put on a mask when I'm out there on the street, put on this, not persona, but this mean mug face, I don't give a F attitude. At Hope Now, I didn't have to do that. I could just relax and be myself and be, I have peace over here. It was a place to be. It feel like I'm coming home every time I show up at Hope Now. I wish I have that story to tell you, that when I first gave my life to Christ, there was lightning storm, earthquake, tornado, none of that happened to me. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I wanted more, and to fill this hole in my heart, I was just in my room, sitting at the edge of my bed and say, Lord, here's my life, Lord. Do whatever you want with it. And when God found me, the first thing I did was ask my wife to marry me. I finally put a ring on her finger. I finally got a ring for her. She stuck around with me through a lot of tough time, and I respect her for that. I love her for that. My whole world just started changing. I stopped selling drugs. I stopped gangbanging. And the relationship with my kids, instead of teaching them how to be tough, instead of teaching them how to fight, I teach them how to defend themselves and how to use the right words. And, we could resolve problems without violence. And so God changed my life from the inside and outside. My heart was like it was dipped in chocolate, with that love. Jesus is love, and it filled the emptiness inside. Hope Now got me a job at People's Church. They helped me get my pastor credential. They helped me through this journey that Hope Now started, and it just enhanced it. We started planning a church in Southeast Fresno with the tools that Hope Now provided. I used it at people and at the church that we planted in Southeast Fresno. I knew I was destined to help those kids out that's in a tough neighborhood. And when I see these little gangbangers, I see myself like, wow, I was once them. I was them. I was a high school gangbanger, a middle school gangbanger. I was out there. I see a part of me in them. That's why I like Hope Now so much. If these gangbangers, right? If we don't give them something to live for, the street will give them something to die for. I know that if no one come and intervene with them, they would be on that road of destruction. I know where they're heading. But when we guide them in the right direction, they're gonna have a different future, a different result.